Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiriye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, we are starting new chapter, chapter 4, the confidential reasons for the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Text 1 onwards. Sri Chaitanya prasadena tadrupasya vinirnayam balu api kurute shastram drishtva vraja vilasinam. By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even a foolish child can fully describe the real nature of Lord Krishna, the enjoyer of the pastimes of Braja, according to the vision of the revealed scriptures. One can ascertain the meaning of this Sanskrit shloka only when one is endowed with the causeless mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Krishna, being the absolute personality of Godhead, cannot be exposed to the mundane instruments of vision. He reserves the right not to be exposed by the intellectual feats of non-devotees. Notwithstanding this truth, even a small child can easily understand Lord Shri Krishna and his transcendental pastimes in the land of Vrindavan by the grace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, even by the mercy of Mahaprabhu, even a foolish child can fully describe the real nature of Lord Krishna. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glory to Lord Nityananda, all glory to Shri Advaita Acharya, and all glory to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Chaturtha Shlokera Artha Kaila Vivaran, Panchama Shlokera Artha Shona Bhaktagan. I have described the meaning of the fourth verse. Now, O devotees, kindly hear the explanation of the fifth verse. मूल श्लोकेर अर्थ करिते प्रकाश अर्थ लगाइते आगे कहिए आभास. Just to explain the original verse, I shall first suggest its meaning. चतुर्थ श्लोकेर अर्थ कैलसा प्रेम नाम प्रचारिते अवतार. I have given the essential meaning of the fourth verse. This incarnation, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, descends to propagate the chanting of the holy name and spread love of God. Satya hetu kintu eho bahiranga, are eka hetu shuna ache antaranga. Although this is true, this is but the external reason for the Lord's incarnation. Please hear one other reason, the confidential reason for the Lord's appearance. In the third chapter, fourth verse, it has been clearly said that Lord Chaitanya appeared in order to distribute love of Krishna and the chanting of his transcendental holy name, Hare Krishna. That was the secondary purpose of Lord Chaitanya's appearance. The real reason is different, as we shall see in this chapter. Purve yena prithvira bhara hari bhare Krishna avatirna haila shasrete prachare. The scriptures proclaim that Lord Krishna previously descended to take away the burden of the earth. Swayam Bhagvaner karma nahi bhara harana sthiti karta Vishnu karen jagat palan. To take away this burden, however, is not the work of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The maintainer, Lord Vishnu, is the one who protects the universe. So Krishna doesn't have to come to kill the demons, to take away the burden of the earth. Kintu Krishnera yai haya avatar kan bhara haran kala tate haila misha. But the time to lift the burden of the world mixed with the time for Lord Krishna's incarnation. We have information from the Bhagavad Gita that the Lord appears at particular intervals to adjust a time-worn spiritual culture. Lord Shri Krishna appeared at the end of Dwapar Yuga to regenerate the spiritual culture of human society and also to manifest his transcendental pastimes. Vishnu is the authorized Lord who maintains the created cosmos, and he is also the principal deity who makes adjustments when there is improper administration in the cosmic creation. But Shri Krishna, being the primeval Lord, appears not in order to make such administrative adjustments, but only to exhibit his transcendental pastimes and thus attract the fallen souls back home, back to Godhead. There is a chapter in Bhagavatam. It says scheduled incarnations. So in fact, once I asked this question, that why they are scheduled incarnations when Krishna says, whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious principles and rise in irreligiosity, I appear. So is it scheduled, or he comes whenever there is a decline in religious principles to establish the religion? Then Prabhuji mentioned basically this thing. It's whenever it's his time to appear, according to Vedas, according to scriptures, that is a time the religion, there's a decline in religion. So both things happen at the same time. So it's scheduled, and it's also at the same time whenever and wherever there is decline in religious principles. Yada ida hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharat. So this is also, it's mentioned here, but the time to lift the burden of the world mixed with the time for Lord Krishna's incarnation. So both things happen at the same time. However, the time for administrative rectification and the time for Lord Shri Krishna's appearance coincided at the time of the last Dwapar Yuga. Therefore, when Shri Krishna appeared, Vishnu, the Lord of maintenance, merged with him, because all the plenary portions and parts of the absolute personality of Godhead merged with him during his appearance. And when Lord Vishnu merged with him, so actually it's the killing of the demons part was done by Lord Vishnu, who was merged inside the body of Krishna. Krishna comes just to enjoy with his devotees. That's all. Killing part he doesn't do. And that is also, it's mentioned that when Putana came and Krishna was going to suck the poison from the breast of Putana. So he actually asked Shivji, because Shivji had also come with him. The CEO is coming. So CEO or president of a country is coming, and all the officers, all the other ministers are going to come with him. So Lord Shiva was also there. So he said, it's your job to drink the poison. It's your service. So do your service. So Shivji drank the poison, Vishnuji killed Putana, and Krishna sent Putana back to Golok, gave her the position of a dhatri, of a nurse in Golok Vrindavan. Outwardly, we'll see, oh, Krishna did all this. No. It's Krishna does his work. He no killing part for Krishna. He's there to enjoy. Purna Bhagavan avatare kale arasab avatar tate asi mile. When the complete Supreme Personality of Godhead descends, all of the incarnations of the Lord meet together within him. Narayana Chaturviha Matsyadi Avatar, Yuga Manvantara Avatar, Yata Achaya. Sabhayasi Krishna Ange Hay Avatirna, Aiche Avatare Krishna, Bhagavana Purna. Lord Narayan, the four primary expansions, Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. Matsya and the other Lila incarnations, the Yuga Avatar, the Manvantar avatars, and as many other incarnations as there are, all descend in the body of Lord Krishna. In this way, the complete Supreme Godhead, Lord Krishna himself, appears. Atay Vishnu Takhan Krishnera Sharire, Vishnu Dware Kare Krishna Asura Samhare. At that time, therefore, Lord Vishnu is present in the body of Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna kills the demons through him. Anushanga karma asura maran, ye lagi avatar kahi se mulkaran. Thus, the killing of the demons is but secondary work. I shall now speak of the main reason for the Lord's incarnation. Prema rasa nirayash karite aswadan, raga marga bhakti loke karite pracharan. Rasika Shekhar Krishna Parama Karuna, Idui Hetu Haite Chara Udgama. The Lord's desire to appear was born from two reasons. The Lord wanted to taste the sweet essence of the mellows of love of God. And he wanted to propagate devotion service in the world on the platform of spontaneous attraction. Thus, he is known as supremely jubilant and as most merciful of all. So during the period of Lord Krishna's appearance, the killing of asuras, so non-believers such as Kansa and Jarasandha, was done by Vishnu, who was within the person of Shri Krishna. Such apparent killing by Lord Shri Krishna took place as a matter of course and was an incidental activity for him. But the real purpose of Lord Krishna's appearance was to stage a dramatic performance of his transcendental pastimes at Brajbhumi, thus exhibiting the highest limit of transcendental mellows in the exchanges of reciprocal love between the living entity and the Supreme Lord. So this was his primary purpose. These reciprocal exchanges of mellows are called Rag Bhakti, or devotional service to the Lord in transcendental rapture or transcendental mellows, in transcendental ecstasy. Lord Shri Krishna wants to make known to all the conditioned souls that he is more attracted by Raga Bhakti than Vidhi Bhakti, or devotional service under scheduled regulations. It is said in the Vedas, Raso Vaisa, the absolute truth is a reservoir for all kinds of reciprocal exchanges of loving sentiments. He is also causelessly merciful, and he wants to bestow upon us this privilege of Raga Bhakti. Thus he appeared by his own internal energy. He was not forced to appear by any extraneous force. So he appeared to give us this Raga Bhakti, Krishna, because he reciprocated with his devotees in this way, performed transcendental pastimes to make us get attracted towards those pastimes and towards developing that Rag Bhakti for Krishna. Aishwarya Jnane Te Sab Jagat Mishhrita, Aishwarya Shithil Preme Nai Mora Prita. Lord Krishna thought, all the universe is filled with the conception of my majesty. But love weakened by that sense of majesty does not satisfy me. Prema nahi mora prita, shithil prem. It doesn't satisfy me. Amare Ishwara mane, apna ke hina, tare preme vasha ami, nahi adhina. If one regards me as a Supreme Lord and himself as subordinate, I do not become subservient to his love, nor can it control me. Ama keta ye bhakta bhaje ye bhave, tare se bhave bhaje, emora svabhave. In whatever transcendental mellow my devotee worships me, I reciprocate with him. That is my natural behavior. The Lord, by his inherent nature, reveals himself before his devotees according to their inherent devotional service. The Vrindavan pastimes demonstrated that although generally people worship God with reverence, the Lord is more pleased when the devotee thinks of him as his pet son, personal friend, or most dear fiancé and renders service unto him with such natural affection. See, he is more pleased when devotees treat him in this way, or have a loving relationship with them in this way, as father or mother They treat Krishna as a pet son or personal friend, most dear fiancé. The Lord becomes a subordinate object of love in such transcendental relationships. Such pure love of Godhead is unadulterated by any tinge of superfluous, non-devotional desires and is not mixed with any sort of fruitive action or empiric philosophical speculation. So unadulterated, unalloyed love. It is pure and natural love of Godhead, spontaneously aroused in the absolute stage. This devotional service is executed in a favorable atmosphere, freed from material affection. So this is what Krishna came to give us or teach us. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tas tathaiva bhajameham mam vartamanam vartante manushya partha sarvasya. In whatever way my devotees surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. In the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna affirms that formerly, some 120 million years before the battle of Kurukshetra, he explained the mystic philosophy of the Gita to the sun god. The message was received through the chain of disciplic succession. But in course of time, the chain being broken, somehow or other, Lord Shri Krishna appeared again and taught Arjuna the truths of Bhagavad Gita. At that time, the Lord spoke this verse to his friend Arjuna. In whatever way my devotees surrender, I reward them accordingly. It means I reciprocate with them accordingly. Mor putra, mor sakha, mor pranapati, ei bhave, ei mor kare shuddha bhakti. Apana ke bada mane, amare samhina, sei bhave hai ami tahara adhina. If one cherishes pure loving devotion to me, thinking of me as a son, his friend or his beloved, regarding himself as great and considering me his equal or inferior, I become subordinate to him. Not in a sentimental way, but with love, with bhav. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, 3 kinds of devotional services are described, namely bhakti, ordinary devotional service, Shuddha bhakti, pure devotional service, and with bhakti, mixed devotional service. When devotional service is executed with some material purpose involving fruitive activities, mental speculations, or mystic yoga, it is called mixed or adulterated devotional service. Besides Bhakti Yoga, Bhagavad Gita also describes Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Dhyana Yoga. So yoga means linking with the Supreme Lord, which is possible only through devotion. Fruitive activities ending in devotional service, philosophical speculation ending in devotional service, and the practice of mysticism ending in devotional service are known respectively as Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Dhyana Yoga. But such devotional service is adulterated by the 3 kinds of material activities. For those grossly engaged in identifying the body as a self, pious activity or karma yoga is recommended. For those who identify the mind with the self, philosophical speculation or jnana yoga is recommended. But devotees standing on the spiritual platform have no need of such material conceptions of adulterated devotion. Adulterated devotional service does not directly aim for love of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Their service, performed strictly in conformity with the revealed scriptures, is better than such Vidya Bhakti because it is free from all kinds of material contamination. It is executed in Krishna consciousness solely to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Karma Yoga, identified towards myself as body, I think, so I do Karma Yoga, or Jnana Yoga for those who identify with the mind, with the self. So it's all adulterated or alloyed or not pure. But pure devotional services only meant to please the Lord. So those who are spontaneously devoted to the Lord and have no aims for material gain are called attracted devotees. They are spontaneously attracted to the service of the Lord. And they follow in the footsteps of self-realized souls. Their pure devotion, Shuddha Bhakti, manifested from pure love of God, it surpasses the regulative principles of the authoritative scriptures. Sometimes loving ecstasy transcends regulative principles. Such ecstasy, however, is completely on the spiritual platform and cannot be imitated. The regulative principles help ordinary devotees rise to the stage of perfect love of Godhead. Pure love for Krishna is the perfection of pure devotion, and pure devotion service is identical with spontaneous devotional service. So spontaneous pure devotion service means the Raganuga Bhakti. One who has developed that rag, that attachment, the affection for Krishna. That is pure devotional service. So flawless execution of regulative principles is exhibited in the Vaikuntha planets. By strictly executing these principles, one can be elevated to the Vaikuntha planets. But spontaneous, pure loving service is found in Krishna Loka alone. So that's the Raga Nuga Bhakti, and that's what we need to be performing. Mai bhaktir hi bhutanam amrit tattvaya kalpate tishtya yad asinamata sneho bhavati nan mad apana. Devotional service rendered to me by the living beings revives their eternal life. O my dear damsels of Braja, your affection for me is your good fortune, for it is the only means by which you have obtained my favor. So pure devotional service is represented in the activities of the residents of Vrindavan, Brajabhumi. During a solar eclipse, the Lord came from Dwarka and met the inhabitants of Vrindavan at Samant Panchak or Kurukshetra. The meeting was intensely painful for the damsels of Brajabhumi because Lord Krishna had apparently left them to reside at Dwarka. But the Lord obligingly acknowledged the pure devotion service of the damsels of Braja by speaking this verse. So Krishna was so grateful to the gopis, especially the dear damsels of Braja, that he says, by your devotional service, it is the only means by which you have obtained my favor. Your affection for me is your good fortune. And of course, later on he says, Na pareham, I cannot pay the debt of your devotional service towards me. Let your own glorious deeds be your remuneration. So I guess I can stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments?
Very beautiful purport, Prabhuji. We need to remember this every day.
Yep, we should read it again and again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. Sure. Thank you, Mata. Thank you. All are safe and wonderful.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.